Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is the number 2 review of series number 12. Series number 12 is Fine Cut Wintergreen. And people that are familiar with the channel here are going, number 2 review? What was it? I ended up, after I did the series opener last night, I ended up reslotting in the Fine Cut Wintergreen playlist the Skull Original. So if you go to the playlist that is titled Series 12, Fine Cut Wintergreen, it will have 2 videos before this one, the opener and then the Skull Original, which was technically the first review. This review is of the only other premium product, with the exception of what will be coming in at the end of the series, which is the Stoker's Tub. But really, as far as top tier products go in the Fine Cut Wintergreen department, it is only Skull and Grizzly. And I usually put in my top tiers, my first tier, Stokers. Okay, so this one is of the Grizzly, and we will be taking a look at the package. So it is a metal lid with the word Grizzly raised. Everything else is flat to the can, and you have the thin raised rim in the American Snuff Company style with, as you can see, a ding or two in it. The color is, it's sort of a metallic OD green, I would say. On the side, you have manufacturer's information. This is a product of the American Snuff Company that is headquartered in Memphis, Tennessee. Barcode, we have a rim that is off-centered here. It's almost wrapping over to the top. Branding, American Snuff Company branding. More branding. And back around to the manufacturer's information. I failed to, before the video started, check to see what the foreign domestic was on this. So, this is 70% U.S. tobacco and 30% imported tobacco. That's sort of par for the course with the regular line Grizzly products. I mean, they're all over the place. I think the wide cut Wintergreen is something like 91% domestic. They get real goofy at times. Now, on the back, well, we have a stepped-on can that I slid across my floor underfoot, so it is all sorts of damaged, as you can see. What you would have if you were able to see a full one is the flavor up top and the cut with Grizzly. Then this black band across is the date code. It had a weird date on it. It was like it might have been a K18 or a K8, which would be very late in the year. I don't know if I've ever actually seen a Grizzly product. Whatever it was, I came to the conclusion that it was almost out of date when I got this order in. So this may actually be getting on a few weeks out of date now. I'm not overly worried about it. Grizzly is pretty... Unless it's way out of date, Grizzly being a drier product, there's not too much difference if it sits a little bit longer. Like Skull, not so much of a difference. But if you get a Copenhagen product, which usually is higher in moisture level, if that sits too long, you will notice a difference. And especially if it is the long cut, the original long cut, because the fiberboard, that stuff tends to dry out. Anyway, down in the middle is coupons and more at, it is mygrizzly.com is the website. And then you probably have in fine print there that it is limited to 21 plus. The rip in the, I can't read it because that part got torn. I'm guessing it's 21 plus though. And then you have the warning label on the back. So I have never had this product, and I'm interested. Wintergreen is not my thing, as you all know, and fine cut is not my thing. And how this is going to go for the top of my desk here, I don't even want to think about it because I've been doing pouched product reviews since the second week in January. Mind you, I have been dipping my normal long cut Stoker straight, but smells good. It's and it looks pretty darn moist for a Grizzly product. It smells good. It almost gives me a idea that it may be a little sweet, which I sort of find surprising coming from Grizzly. It's a pretty fresh. It's not like overbearing, like, you know, punching your face Wintergreen, but I mean, it's obviously Wintergreen, and it sort of gives me the feeling that it may lean a little sweet, which is fine by me. Let me give you a shot inside there. I did pack this can a little bit before I started filming. That is, in person, there is a very slight brown tinge. It's almost like a reddish brown, but that's pretty darn close. It looks like it's in really good shape. The moisture level for a Grizzly product is excellent. I'm happy with that. I'm going to hit this one more time. It packs down pretty good. There's not the big differential, although that is the God's pinch. For a Grizzly product, that seems like an awful big pinch. Of course, I am in no way used to fine cuts from Grizzly. So, let's see. This may be a multiple. All right. I mean, I'm backing it with a third finger, but that's not bad for a fine cut with me. Desk took a hit. Don't even say it. 1968. Don't even say it. I'll be back in a moment. And I am back. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm pleasantly surprised because this actually is closer to what I like in a dip than I would have ever imagined. The Wintergreen is sort of straight Wintergreen, not too much of a tobacco flavor backing, okay? It leans a little sweet, which for me is good. I like that. Not real sweet, not Copenhagen Wintergreen sweet by any means, but it actually, as far as a regular line Grizzly product, it leans a little sweet, and I'm sort of surprised by that. The cut is a fine cut, which is not my thing, but all things considered, I actually moved it around, which I guess that would be forward side for me. It went around with a bit of cling, so it was a bit of a job getting it around, but it stayed, all in all, it stayed together pretty darn well for a fine cut. There is a Wintergreen burn with it that I got up front, not so much now in the side, which, if you like Wintergreen burns, you know, it's there. It's not as strong as other Wintergreens. It's not as strong as, let's say, the long cut version, in my opinion. It's there. It's not overbearing. That's not why I moved it around to the side, but it was definitely there, and I have been dipping all day. So the fact that I even felt anything up front here right now is to say something for it. It juices up. It spits well. You know, it's... I was sure that this was probably going to be kept around for a couple days and then be trash bound, minus maybe a couple more pinches. But I may actually dip this. I'm serious. It would have been the last thing from Grizzly that I thought I would. And it would... Well, I'm not a big fan of Grizzly either. I mean, partly because they're drier products, but the moisture level in this was pretty good. Now, I don't know if they had to boost it because of the fine cut or whatnot, but whatever they did, it worked. So I may very well dip this can. The Wintergreen, I'm not a big Wintergreen fan, but there are some that I like more than others, and I find this one interesting. It leans sweet, but it's not overblown. It's not a Copenhagen Wintergreen or anything. Nicotine is definitely there, all right? So, all in all, I mean, quality pack. I mean, you should have seen I dropped it on the floor and, I almost banana peeled it, basically. Cartoon, yeah. And it caught I don't know what it caught. It caught something. I got hardwood in here, which did that to it. But I came down full body weight on the thing, and really, that's all that it did to the can. So the packaging is good. It's a pretty good-looking Grizzly can. The green, that metallic OD green that they got going on here, which is probably not coming up right on this camera, but it works for it. Cling on it is pretty good. Pinching, I actually took more than I should have. That's the reason why I moved it around the side. I didn't expect for it to come out that easily. I didn't even have to top off or anything. I did that. I backed it with a third finger, but normally I do that, and then there's a couple more, at least one more. Didn't have to do that, and I actually took out more than I intended, and that is why I moved it around. So the cut, although fine, is a good cut. I'm not well versed on it, but that's on me. It's a good cut on it. The moisture level, I think, is good. The flavor is good. All right. The product looks good in the can. Everything is although fine, the cut is very consistent. There are no irregularities at all. Smell off the can. That's when I was like, wait a minute, this is going to be different than what I thought when I smelled it. It's a good Wintergreen. It's not overblown in any way, but it's there, and it's pleasant. So, flavor's good, smells good, packaging's good, moisture level for a Grizzly product is great, I think. Nicotine is definitely there. Okay, it's it's not like I'm well past any buzz stage, guys. So I know a lot of these subs that are coming in may be young guys that are looking for that. It's going to be your basic line Grizzly dip. They're all going to be about the same, and this is the same as them. All right, so it's there. Where it sits on the scale of lowest, strongest, I don't know, but it's there, and I'm going to say it's going to be trending high. Okay? I'm surprised. My big thumbs up for a Grizzly fine cut Wintergreen. Now, I had to order this in, but if you can find it in a store, I'd definitely give it a try. I'm not going to say that it's better than the Skull Original, but it's a very close second. All right? So, this has been the review of the Grizzly Fine Cut Wintergreen. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy. I want to say hello and thank you to a couple people. C4P420, hello and thank you. Cordial Devil, hello and thank you. And Man in a Hat, Man in the Hat. A hat. Man in a hat. Man in a hat. Hello and thank you. That is all the notifications I got. If you've subscribed and I didn't get a notification from you and you want me to yell out your name at some point, leave a comment of some sort in one of the comment sections. And when I don't recognize you, I will realize that you are new. Do check out Berg's Dip Reviews, Winnington Outdoors, Dirty Pat Walsh, Wayside Lee 83, Real Talk Studios, No Bluff Buff, and snoozefreak.com, the channel here on YouTube. I do hope everyone is well, and as always, take care of yourselves, and God bless.